Let me also share my screen just for everyone else who's not on Miro. Is everyone on Miro or
I think not yet.
not yet? Still waiting. Okay. All right. Well, some of you are joining in now, so I see someone. Yeah, I see. That's good. Sachlani. No plans yet. Okay. Well, great. This is what we want everyone to do, just like what Sachlani is doing. Put in a sticky note. You can use the toolbar towards the left of your window, which gives you. Let me share my screen. So what essentially it's doing is, sorry, what it does, what you do is you click on the sticky on the left toolbar. You should have these options over here. Pick up a color that you like and just drag and drop. And that's what you'd have to do. So please come on the board and tell me what your nickname is. Not your name, your nickname. For example, my friends, they call me Gags because I'm supposed to be a funny guy. And I've had this for almost 30 years now. So, and where will I travel to? Bali. Yeah, hopefully I'll get there. Travel to the kitchen. Nice, nice. Okay. Is everyone able to access Miro, or should I ping the link again?
I think only 18 that available in the Miro,
Miro.
and there are 29 person in the Zoom. So
Yeah.
still,
Okay.
yeah, some of us is actually driving now. So
Oh, I see. Okay. Kalimantan. I've been to
like
Kalimantan before.
I just see that Firman now is driving. So.
Okay. Well, we'll give another 2 minutes or so just to do this. Nice. Margaret, never heard of that place, Lagu Boti. Where's that?
Margaret, where are you going, Margaret? Lagu Buti?
Di mana?
I don't think it is in Indonesia.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, 30 seconds more, and then we'll move from here. So the good thing is, the poor said living room. Nice. That's a good thing too. I'm trying to get out of this room as well. I spent almost 12 to 15 hours over here. So going to the living room is a great plan. Love it. That's Ratri going to Bali. Nice. Yeah. I want to go to Bromo as well and see that volcano. KL. Okay. Well, thank you all so much for participating and getting on the Miro board. I'd like to quickly introduce myself just so you all understand what I like doing. So I've been a digital transformation leader for quite some time. I've been doing this work for almost 20 plus years now. And I like having fun. That's why I have these. These are my favorite characters, the minions. We've traveled across the globe. I've stayed in North America. I've stayed in Asia, not in Europe, not in South Africa, or Africa for that matter, in India. And I have a big dog. His name is Chico. I have a mid-sized dog. Her name is Olive. And we have a cat. His name is Oscar. I'm someone who's passionate about all types of food, and nasi padang is my favorite in Indonesia. I've done all sorts of things. I've done photography, professional photography as well. In fact, I have a creative agency in Toronto. I love the outdoors. You'll see in the pictures here, I've done a lot of camping whenever I get the opportunity. This was before COVID kicked in. And we did travel to Bali last year in December for a break. I had to get out, so we managed to. I'm also an Agile practitioner, a Scrum enthusiast, so I follow professional Scrum wherever possible. I'm also a data analytics guy. I'm a big promoter of Tableau. I use that to do a lot of my visualization. And like what Meiko had said, Management 3.0 is something that I had fun with. Some of us over here, we were in a training session together. So I'm for all of you who are familiar with Jakarta, I am based out of Bintaro, Tangerang Selatan, if that makes sense. And I work with
It's not
Sinarmas.
Jakarta actually.
Oh, it's not, it's Banten, right? Yeah, I'm getting there. Another year, I'll be a pro at finding places and naming them correctly. So yeah, that's where I am, and I had business excellence and digital transformation for Sinarmas as of right now. So awesome. Can we all get to what we call the happiness door and show me who's at what? I know Nico is definitely over here. Where the sun is, can others tell me how you guys are doing today morning? Are you feeling like a rock star, or do you feel the rocks on your head? So I just had okay. Are you kidding me? In the morning on a Saturday at 5 a.m. and you're fasting too. Damn, and you're still out there shining bright. Nice. Nice.
So are you meeting with Indonesian or meeting with US guy?
Must be Australia.
Australia could be. Yeah, in US also
Indonesian
it's already
actually. Indonesian.
Indonesian.
Dude, this is like crazy. 5 a.m. Saturday, that too. Wow. Well, thumbs up for your spirit, man. Really cool. Okay. Well, I try to stay bright and sunny on a weekend. And I think I am doing that. Awesome. Okay.
So nobody said,
Which is good, which is
which is good.
awesome. So yeah. So welcome everyone, all you happy people. Lovely to see you all out there. Now, you know, the most important thing for us as people who are part of, you know, project management or consulting or whatever, I think that it all boils down to basic questions that we understand. And that's why I asked this question today. We'll spend some time over here. And what I want to know from all of us is, when you hear the word agile, what comes to your mind? What is the definition of agile as per you? Yeah, bring in stickies over here. You know, and the same exercise for what is digital transformation? And then we'll go into, you know, what my journey was, what I learned. And again, I am not an expert myself. And the reason why I say this is every day, every month, every year, there's something new that I learn. So I'm going to share my experience with you, and maybe, you know, there's something that I'll take away from you guys as well. So I'll be your learning partner today, and I will learn with you. Fast and iterative. Okay. Culture change. Interesting. Oh yeah, you can resize your stickies as well. You know, just so that they fit into the frame. Fast and iterative. Thank you. Self-organization. Okay, to stay relevant within the market. Okay. Convert your business into digital platform. That's a good one. Adopt can be fast. Self-organization. Quick response. Nice. I should have used a bigger frame. No problem. Okay. This is good. Sorry, we'll spend 5 more minutes over here to use digital. Show flexibility. Fast and flexible. Okay. Nice. Yeah. This is great because all of you have touched pieces and elements of what it means to be agile. You've got to be fast, sure. And why do you need to be fast? Anyone feel free to talk. Why do we need to be fast? Any thoughts on that?
actually to keep relevant with the market.
Exactly. Exactly. You know, if you look at the way the industry is changing, if you go back 10, 20, or 30 years back, the rate of change was much larger before than what it is now. The rate of change right now is much more faster over the last few years. And for that, it's important that we purely as human beings, be agile to that as well. We don't stay stuck or complacent in what we do. So yes, we need to stay relevant with the market. We need to be fast. Agile is a mindset which is amazing. This is not something that someone else can force you to be. It's not like a new suit or a new dress that you might wear and say, oh, I'm agile from today onwards. Doesn't work like that. You've got to go back to answering very basic questions to see how you impact your mindset. So it is a mindset. It is to be adaptive, yes. And of course, customers ask for a lot of things, and for us to stay aligned to that, it's important. So we need to stay nimble, we need to stay relevant, and we need to keep listening to our people, to our customers, to our employees, and adapt to that change. That's what it is to be agile. So great comments over here. To be iterative, yeah, absolutely. Good points. And let's go to the next one, where the question is, what is digital transformation? Okay. Convert your business into a digital platform. All right. And then we have changed the way. Okay. Anytime, anywhere. All right. Changing the culture. Interesting. I'd say that should go up, but yeah, that too, changing the culture is not only technology, but people too. So that's the thing. Digital transformation is basically we move away from doing things manually to start doing things using technology. That's the basic of digital transformation. And why do we do that? To make things faster, make things more efficient, and also to get things which our customers want. That's why we have digital transformation. But that point, about digital transformation is not about technology, is more about people, is very relevant. And I'll tell you why. So I'm a photographer, and imagine if I was not a photographer and someone gave me the best camera in the world. Okay, not in the world, the most expensive camera. I'm a Canon guy. If someone gave me a Canon 5D Mark IV and said, Ganesh, here's a $5,000 camera, go ahead and make click some beautiful pictures. Does it mean I will click beautiful pictures? No, I won't, right? And the reason why I won't is because it's not got to do with the technology or how expensive the camera is. It's got a lot to do with how I compose my shots as a photographer. So I could use my phone, or I could use any camera. It does not matter. What's most important is that I compose my shots really well. Similarly, business agility is about impacting your mindset and less about technology. So great call out over there. All right. Well, you guys are a quiet bunch. Nobody wants to talk. So here is what I drew up, in terms of being an agile organization. So if
Dennis, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
What makes digital transformation is different with usual IT improvement project like implementation of ERP, CRM, or other things application?
Sure. So, all of those projects in some way or the other are more technology focused. I believe digital transformation is a human-centric approach to doing a technology transformation. So even though you might have a CRM, implementation or an ERP upgrade or whatever the case might be, but the lens with which you look at that whole transformation is more technology driven and less about people. It is that's what I would say. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I'm afraid the digital transformation is only a gimmick.
You say it's only a gimmick?
Yeah.
Of course, and you're right. The reason why it is a gimmick is because people use that as a wrapper to make it look interesting and sell candy. So, and it's basically IT transformation that is being shown as digital transformation. But there is more that can be done when you have digital transformation, when you say digital transformation. And the reason why it seems or is perceived as a gimmick is because we eliminate the human side of transformation completely and focus only on the technology bit. And I think we lose the whole purpose. And it seems that it's not relevant. It's more of a technology transformation.
If I may add about this,
Sure.
When I used to be a researcher back in the UK, I was doing the research about agile manufacturing, joint venture with Liverpool as well as Yakoka Institute. So when we are talking about agile, I'm not quite sure about the development now, but we are looking about the knowledgeable workers. We are looking about the automation, and then we are talking about the virtual enterprises. Mm-hmm. So those three are basically intermingled together. So definitely, one part of it, automation or whatever is part of it. But I am 100% agree with you, Ganesh, when we are talking about the knowledgeable workers. Mm-hmm. So how we manage these people. And as the time goes by now, it's becoming more prevalent where people working from elsewhere, when the company is not going through the traditional merger or acquisition, they just go with with the virtual enterprises. Even your competitors can work with you on a certain period of time to seize the opportunity and then disband the joint venture altogether. So that's my understanding about the agile enterprises.
Yeah. No, thank you for that, Danny. And Sachwani, that's a great point as well that you called out. It's so important for us, and that's why I ask questions about what is digital transformation as per you. And if you think it is it's an eyewash, it seems to be just tech transformation, we need to go back to, like, this is what I would do, using certain elements of what even Danny called out. There's a lot more complexity involved in transformation today. It's not just technology, and we just need to see which elements are being missed out, and that's why I drafted this board that you can see in front of me. Digital transformation is not easy. Because you're trying to manage the expectations of people who are across levels, people who will actually use the technology, people who will manage people using that technology, and the leadership who's investing in that technology. So there's a lot of change management, a lot of expectation management, alignment, communication, all that needs to go into this. So this is what I put together. So you've got your tech arc, which is essentially how your technology will work. I am looking at technology which is scalable, which is future ready, and is cloud-based. So that's how my technology needs to be. But is that enough for me to be an agile organization or an organization that has transformed and is ready for the future? No, it's not. You'll see there's a lot more in terms of organizational maturity that needs to be done. There's culture. There's, the mindset to actually imbibe this change. Sorry, I'm looking for the timer here while we're chatting as well. And I have it. Okay, we'll spend 10 minutes here. And the reason why I call these out is, like I said, you might have the best CRM solution. You might have, the best software that you want, but people need to be able to use it. People need to see value coming out of that technology. That is something which does not happen. I'll give you an example without taking names of any companies. There was this company which had a great tool to do its job, and people never learned how to use it, or people did not know how to use it. And what had happened at the end was, when people asked for feedback, or the leaders asked for feedback, the only thing that they heard was, this is a crappy solution. It's not working for us. We don't use it so much. And all of that had domino effect on things like data governance, people using a different way of doing their work instead of that technology stack, which would have been helpful in bringing things together and all of that. So I realized from that experience that it's so important that people be a part of any technology change. When so I'll use the example of my organization when I introduced Tableau, just to drive a very data-driven approach to doing our work. I started having conversations across levels, across teams, and started talking about why this data is important and how this data correlated with some other data makes a difference to specific departments and the insights that they get from it, and things like that. What that did is it triggered curiosity within people. And remember, this is like someone trying out new food. You cannot like everything in one go. You've got to get introduced to food. Maybe it's a wrong analogy, but that's what I'm saying. But I'll give you another example. Okay, you all can see that I'm trying to grow a beard, right? This is my third attempt at growing a beard. And what I want to show you is, I want to show this example only because, you cannot use the same yardstick in every situation. So what I have been able to learn is not something that you can lift and drop into your use case and say, this should solve my problem. It won't. And that's why I think analogies are very helpful, so you understand how things work. Now, how many of you know what this is? This is a hair trimmer, right? This is a beard trimmer as well. And the first time I tried to trim my beard with this to give it shape and look all cool and all of that, I failed miserably. The left side of my face, the beard was thinner. The right side was a beard thing. I had to shave my whole face again. Okay. And then I saw something similar, but smaller. This was to trim the beard line. And what I'm trying to say is the technology is the same. It's doing the same job, but look at the width of the head, which helps you do a better job. So when you use technology, it's important to understand what really works well for your situation. You cannot look at someone else because the complexities that they might have in their organization, the maturity level of the organization, the the culture of the organization. There are so many variables from a people standpoint which might make it difficult to just copy a solution and try and deploy it in your organization. It won't work. You need to see how things work in your organization, and the best way to do that is to experiment. So the important thing while you do all of this is to have visibility into what is happening with your teams, your organizations, and business intelligence is something that I have put as a part of being agile, because it gives you sight into how you're doing today, how happy your customers, their employees are, and helps you make good decisions to be better tomorrow and to maybe grow your business or whatever the case might be. So I believe there are these three things that you need for successful digital transformation. Organizational maturity, which is not an on and off switch. It is something that you have to talk about. It is something that you need to discuss. And technology for sure is something that you need to do. And business intelligence, because it gives you insight into things that you did, your lagging metrics, your leading metrics, and maybe even predictive analytics to help you make better decisions. So any thoughts or comments over here before we move on?
Please, anybody, if you have a thought or comment.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, when we are talking about the agility, it is about the synergy of those things.
Yeah.
So we want when 1 + 1 + 1 has to become more than 3.
Yes.
Oftentimes, when people doing something, they're concentrating on one particular thing, and when they add them together, it is less than the sum of the individual. So
Yes.
when we're talking about the agility, we are talking about the organizational technology and the business. We're expecting when we put 1, 1, 1 on each, we would get more than 3. If it's less than 3, there's no point of doing any of them.
Right.
That's basically my opinion about that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, well said, Danny. Thank you for that comment.
Yeah, it's synergy between the three.
Yeah, and I think it's like, if there are any guitarists or drummers in the group, it's like when you are a part of a band, you have to be in sync. You have to be in chorus or whatever you call that. You cannot be off beat or off tune. Everyone has to move together. So, and same is the case with this as well. You can't have your technology evolve to something sooner than your users' ability to imbibe that change. So you need to march together, and that's when you'll see more returns.
I think business intelligence is part of the technology architecture.
Yes, of course. You can call that to be a part of your technology architecture as well. In fact, in many transformations, this becomes one of the layers in your architecture too. The only reason why I have called that out separately, Sachlani, is because there's a lot of work that needs to be done in terms of data governance at times. And this is specific to my learning that I wanted to share. So some organizations that might be more mature, let's just say that, they might not need to look at this piece separately, and they can incorporate it into their technology architecture too. So yeah, I agree with you. It's technology, But depending on where you are in your journey of being an agile organization, you need to bring those elements out. Or I brought these 3 elements out because I know that these are 3 things that I want to focus on. And I want everyone to understand that these are 3 things that need to dance together for us to be able to move forward. And going back to that, to my other point, Sachlani, is when we club a lot of things under one bucket, we tend to lose sight of actions that need to be done, or sometimes it just becomes too overwhelming. So that was one of the reasons why I actually brought it out, just so that people understand, within the organization, people understand that we are focusing on these things, these 3 things. Does that make sense?
Okay. And how about the process? Why is not in the picture?
The process is a part of multiple things. You've got processes in org maturity. You've got processes within tech architecture. That is just a way or a mean of implementation. So I've not broken it down to show processes as well, but essentially the expectation within these big buckets of business intelligence, technology architecture, or org maturity. But processes are important. The thing is, and again, when we say we want to, if I define processes and I deviate from that, the first question that people will start asking is, why are we not following the process? Excuse me. And while I follow a process of sorts, it is essentially me inspecting and adapting to what I learn. So every time I try out something and I see that this is not working, or we might have roadblocks, there's a change in that process. I will have to adopt, my methods or my ways of working to ensure that I focus more on the goal, because maybe my organization's maturity level is not that high, and we are more focused on activities or processes than on outcomes and impact. So I have very carefully ensured that I show more on what the goal is for us in terms of these 3 buckets that we want to do. But yeah, I've not followed the process there.
Okay.
Thanks. Thank you. Awesome. All right. Well, this is going to be interesting. Trust. I believe if we want to be human-centric, trust is the foundation for all of us to be successful, not only as people or as individuals, but also as an organization. Trust is what will help us move forward or propel us into the future. I've brought in what's called the Stacy's graph of complexity that you can see here. And just like some time back, how we were discussing, over the last 20, 30 years, we have moved away from being simple companies, organizations, to being more complex, with things changing rapidly, be it technology, be it people, be it people's attention span. Like you can see how the attention span based on the length of videos that people make today. Your TikTok videos are what, 30 seconds, 50 seconds, or a minute, not more than that. Unlike what it used to be a couple of years back, people were okay watching a video for 5 minutes. Now people don't have the time or the patience. So it's just become a lot more complex. So there's so many pieces that that get impacted because of this. You know, if we look at the time when things were simple, we say that everything was known. The variables were close to zero in you know, in these kind of environments. Your outcomes were more certain, and you had the ability to deploy best practices. You had the ability to copy and paste for something that worked somewhere else. It will work for you because the environments were more simplistic in nature. Okay. And yeah, that's why we had what's called best practices that used to work there. And because things were that simple, the leadership style was also more command and control types. You know, it was easy to just have that kind of leadership style support the organization or the work that we were doing. Then things became complicated because we started advancing with technology. And what we saw was there was more that was known, more that became unknown. Things became complicated to a certain extent. And here we go. And then we had supervisory controls over there. And in this place, we started using things like good practices, Lean Six Sigma, DMAC, things of that sort. So that's what we were doing. Today, we're more in what we call a complex environment. It's complex because we're dealing with people, we're dealing with technology, we're dealing with rapidly changing expectations, and there's a lot more that is unknown. And that's why we need what we call emergent practices. We have to learn by experimenting. Very important. This is something that I have experienced myself as well. Having the ability to experiment helps you build better ways of working. There is better synergy in how you know, people operate as teams, and you build a better product. What you need over here is a serving leader, essentially someone who provides psychological safety, who gives you that environment where you're not going to get reprimanded for failing. Very important. And you know, unlike the others, this place there is more unknown than known. So that's the challenge over here. Towards the corner, top right, is the House of Pain. This is the area where it gets chaotic. Nothing is known. Take COVID, for example. We didn't have experience in dealing with COVID. We didn't have any previous experience of, you know, what we knew what pandemics are, but was it like COVID? No, we didn't. So the only thing we could do was we had to act immediately. That is what we could do. So most of the practices here are novice practices because they've never been done before. So a lot of your R&D, war, pandemics, all of them fall in this chaotic environment. And what happens is many organizations that are moving from traditional ways of working to an agile way of working, they sometimes end up going towards this chaotic environment because of this misalignment, like what Danny was calling out. These three elements of people not understanding technology and technology not actually helping people. This causes a lot of friction in the organization causes chaos, and people roll back to their older habits, their older ways of working, because they've not understood the technology or the benefits of the technology. So we have to watch out for this. Now, when we work in complex environments, we realize that we don't work as ourselves. We work as teams. We work in a collaborative way. Many organizations, you will notice, are doing work this way. So the foundation for that is trust. When you have trust, it allows you to do things like take risks, because you know that if you fall, there's someone who's got your back. And in an organization, if employees know that they can take these risks, they know that it's a safe environment, there's more creativity that you'll see come out of people. And something from that creativity could be classified as innovation, which helps the organization move forward. So any thoughts or comments on this? I'd like to hear what others have to say.
Please, if you have a thought and comment. So I think this staging metric is about the same with the what you call it, the Cunefin framework, right?
Yeah, very similar. Very similar. Okay. No thoughts over here. I know that we are. It's 10, and how much time had we allocated, Meiko, for this?
Actually, we have until 2:20, including the question and answer. So my suggestion is sorry, not 2:20, 10:20.
20, right? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't want to take away everybody's weekend, so I'll try to be quick. But this I am very very human centric. I look at technology also as an enabler for people. So I'm really passionate about things like building trust, ensuring people understand technology. So maybe I spent a little more time on this. But as teams, as communities of people who are like-minded people or whatever, I'm a part of communities in Toronto, in Netherlands, and even in Singapore and Indonesia as well, and in India too. And in many of those communities, what we do is, as individuals, we try and align ourselves by fixing what our values are as individuals. And then
Ganesh,
sorry, go ahead.
you need to bring everyone to you in Meiko, because some of us is not following you in Meiko. Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for that. So if you'll see over here, if you need to be in your happy space when you're working, it's important that your values and your organizational values align. And that's why I had called this piece over here. And before we get to an organizational level as well, it's important that when you are working with a group of people, all of those people align to the same values, the same vision, and yeah, that's when you are able to work collaboratively, or else you'll start seeing teaming issues, trust getting impacted, and issues in actual product delivery or results that you might expect. So on that point in time, on that note, a mission statement is something like a rallying cry. When everyone has that rallying cry, when they say that together, it brings them together. That's what I think. And core values are essentially, like your GPS. There are times in your in your organization where you have to make decisions and you might find yourself lost. That's when your core values guide you towards making the right decision, towards doing the right thing. And that's why it's important to understand if your core values and your organization's core values align or not, because sometimes maybe they don't. And that's when you need to see, what are you going to do as an individual? Are you going to, you know, succumb to it? Or are you going to make a change? Are you going to bring it up for discussion? Those are some tough calls that one has to take. And of course, you know, vision statement, it essentially is your North Star. It helps everyone align towards that goal and takes everyone in that direction. So that's what it is. I will move to the next point on communication. In all of this, in anything that we're driving, be it, you know, a daily work, be it digital transformation, be it technology transformation, anything, the most important piece is communication. Communication is very critical to the success of any transformation project. And it's challenging as well. You have people with different skill sets, people who might not understand technology, people who might not understand language, all working together because we are more diverse today than we were 20 years back. We have people working from different geographical locations who have very different understanding of maybe words and things of that sort. So it's important that we pay a lot of attention to communication. Now, one of three things that I listed out over here is communication. You know, you have to work on improving your communication every day. I am new to I'm saying new to Indonesia, even though I've spent 1 year over here. And I'll give you an example of, sorry, let me time this just so that I ensure that I don't go overboard. So when I first came here, I learned that when you say lurus, it is to go straight. When you say kanan, it is to go right. And when you say kiri, it is to go left. So I by-hearted this, and I got into a cab to head towards work. And I wanted to tell my driver to go straight and stop on the left side so I can get down at the curb. So I told him, please go kanan, you know? So my hand action is to go straight, and I'm telling him to go right. And he's not looking at my hand actions, he's listening to me. So he says, okay, kanan. So he takes me to the right side of the road, and I was like, maybe he'll go to the right and then go in the front. And I'm like, no. And he did not come to the left side or something like that. But what I'm trying to say is, my actions, my intention was to tell him that he needs to go straight, but the words that I was using were wrong. I was saying kanan all the time, and he's not seeing me. He's got to look at the road. So this is where there's so much simple things like this cause miscommunication, misunderstanding. So that's why I say that clear and compassionate communication is very important. So keep improving your communication skills. Don't stop. Learn at every opportunity that you get. So practice listening, very important, and create a shared understanding. It's always important that when you are working in a team environment, when you're working with people, everybody understands the goal. Everybody understands why they're working together and what is that one purpose that they're working towards, even though they come in with different skill sets. So very important. I've put in an example of, the opportunities that you have within the Scrum framework, which allow you to communicate with different teams. So it could be the developers, it could be the stakeholders, whatever the case might be. But this is not the only thing. You can use other opportunities as well. But all I'm trying to say is communicate more, ensure that there is shared alignment, and yeah. Any thoughts on communication? I think you all agree with my point. Yes.
Yeah. Indonesian sometimes is very quiet.
So, this is what I had until now, and what I want to do is I want to bring us all together. And if I have to ask us, what is our recipe to success? From everything that we've spoken about, what would you say?
Yeah. Anyone, please? No.
Just get on the Miro board, put in your thoughts over here. Use a sticky note. Like I would say, people are core to digital transformation. We should not forget that. We should always stay, human centric. That's what I would say. Clear vision. Thanks. Alignment. Collaboration.
Yeah, I think alignment is important. Alignment is about the alignment with the between the team, between the internal team, and also alignment to the ecosystem.
Yeah.
And also alignment to the North Star.
Yes, I agree.
So three things about alignment. Alignment is not only in the team, but also how you achieve the North Star.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's so alignment is definitely key. It's and also because of the fact that things keep changing so often. When you see a change in the goal, or something like that, it's important to communicate that across to people. So yeah. So alignment, clear direction, determination, synergy, collaboration. Nice. Okay. Great. Well, there is some space for a parking lot below this board. So if you think there are questions that you still like to discuss, or connect offline and you want to chat, happy to do that as well. Feel free to drop in any questions in the parking lot. And okay. So there's a copy of introductions that's come up over here. I'd like to know if there are any questions that you would like to put in the parking lot. I know that we just have 5 minutes.
Yeah. Anyone who have thought a question you can put in the parking lot, or you can also uh, who who are who are not in the mirror, you can also type in the chat, or you can also raise your hand in the Zoom, so you can unmute the mic.
Agile or bad plan.
For the one who are not in Miro, you can also type into the Zoom chat or raise the hand.
Yeah. What I've done is I have hyperlinked my my picture with a note to LinkedIn.
By the way, I love your photo in this Miro.
Thank you. So I'll put in a link to my LinkedIn. Feel free to connect with me over there, and if there are more questions, I'm more than happy to chat offline as well. And yeah, we can go from there.
So Ganesh, actually there is some question in the parking lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
First is about how the roles and responsibility transform in agile organization.
That's a great question, Pankaj. Now, one of the things that I do in many of my sessions is I tell people to keep all your roles outside. You could be a manager, you could be a director, you could be whoever, but when you are trying to work in an agile format, it's so important to keep your ego, your roles outside, and then come in and just be a developer, for example, and get hands-on. The issue that we see today is we have multiple layers of people. I have a manager, I have a senior manager who's got a director, then you've got an assistant director, and everyone is trying to tell you how to do your work. One guy is being managed by 5 people. How crazy is that, right? So that's why in an agile organization, mostly when we form agile teams, we make it really flat and we say, guys, you all come in with your skill set to become a cross-functional team. So keep your titles outside, because when you're working in this format, you are not trying to tell the other person what to do. Everybody knows what to do. So you're here to execute that work, to be a part of, roll up your sleeves and get the work done kind of a guy is what you need to be. So this also depends a lot with the agile maturity of the organization. So when organizations are less on the maturity curve, you will see there is more of people telling you what to do than delegating this to you and saying, Tankas, I know you're smart. You tell me what would be the best way to do this, because you're the expert in that field. That's the difference that you'll see. Now, what we have seen, so your question was how the roles and responsibilities transform in an agile organization. They move from being hierarchical organizations to being more flat organizations, to being more skill driven than being title driven, is what I would say. Does that answer your question? I see you nodding your head, so I guess yes.
Are you trying to say that there is no role in Agile?
No, there are roles. Of course there are. There are different roles, but when people are scrumming together, everyone is called a developer. You could be a business analyst. You could be a product manager. You could be a data scientist. You could be a front end, back end developer, whoever you are. But when you work in that team, you are just a developer. not a manager, a senior director. You don't have those titles. So we try and move away from a title-based organization and keep titles out. So titles might be there, but when you want people to work together, you have to try and eliminate hierarchical behavior.
So when you say that the agile organization is flat, is there any drawing or something like that that we can see the interaction between the team and the management?
And the management. Okay, yeah, there is. So you have, I don't have that handy, but I'm happy to share that with you. The management essentially, so here, this is a great question actually, Sachlani, because the management does not work in an agile format. And the agile teams or the product development teams, which are Scrum teams, are very flat organizations. So there is someone who is there, like a product owner, who is the sandwich between the agile teams and the management, to manage expectations, to manage communication, and to ensure that there is alignment between all these groups of people. So yeah, I know there is on scrum.org as well, there is a visual of how this is done, and I'm happy to share that with you.
Okay, please.
Sure.
Just my comment a little bit. I mean, like, I've been away from these agile and all things. When we are talking about Scrum, I used to play rugby, so I'm not quite sure whether it has something to do. But regardless whether you are prop, you are 5'8" or whatever, when you are Scrum, you are pushing, basically just try to get and win the ball. Is that the same idea, or the terminology comes from somewhere else? Because when we are playing rugby, regardless of your position, when you are in the position of scrumming, you are just trying to win the ball. Yeah. I don't care whether you are prop, either you are 5'8" or you could be a fullback.
Yeah.
We just win the ball.
Yeah. So that's actually, yes, that's where it came from. And
okay.
The fact that everyone was focused towards just one thing, the goal, just like how it is in football as well, and similarly in rugby too. So they come together, they their focus is just to get that ball across the field. So similar. It's a team sport. It does not matter who you are. You come with a specific skill, but you help move that needle towards the goal. So there's this one question on agile versus bad plan. Can you explain what that is? Whoever put that in there.
I think because of, who's asking this? Because my understanding is actually some people thinks that agile is no plan. So what is the difference? Something like between the agile and how we can differentiate between the agile and bad plan.
Okay, so I see agile versus bad plan, and then someone else asked a question of what's the benefit we use agile as digital transformation driver compared to lean, Kanban, DevOps. So here's the analogy that I'd like to share. When you want to go from, let's say from Bintaro to Jakarta, there are so many ways how you can go there, right? I can drive, I can take a bike. I know, like Firman, he's driving right now, so he's on his way somewhere. I can walk, I can run, I can even take a flight. Hypothetically speaking, so all of these are different ways of getting there: lean, Kanban, DevOps, Scrum. And I'm not saying Scrum is the answer for everything. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is agility has got a lot to do with inspecting and adapting more frequently. That's all. What framework or methodology you want to deploy has got to do with the complexities you're dealing with. Based on that, you need to see which framework works best for you. You use Scrum in, let's say, a manufacturing environment, maybe it will not work so well. Or you use, TQM in today's time, maybe it will not work so well because it does not allow for. I'm just making stuff up over here, but I'm telling you that all I'm trying to say is you need to think about what works best for your situation, and don't. You're right to ask this question and say, why should I do agile? Or it's not agile. Why should I do Scrum? Or why should I do Kanban or Lean or DevOps? You should ask these questions. You should get an answer which says there is value in doing this. This is the most optimal way of getting you from point A to point B faster with everyone happy around you. That's a very simple answer to that question. So yeah. But the thing is, a lot of organizations, Scrum, what a lot of organizations do is they take bits and pieces of Scrum and they think that they're agile, or they change names, and say, oh, I'm having a daily Scrum, which is actually a status update meeting. But daily Scrums are not status update meetings. Or when you have a sprint review, they're giving feedback to the team on how they didn't do well or what might be happening. No, a sprint review is more to inspect the product or the increment that the team has worked on over the last sprint. So these cause issues and perceptions about various different frameworks. So it's important to ensure that you don't when you see people just taking names to make it sound agile and not actually using that framework, it's important to stop that and ensure that you just do what you are actually doing and not copy names from another framework. Could be from any framework. So how do you measure agility in your organization? I think, so this is what I did, it's not easy to measure agility in your organization. It is intangible because it's behavioral. It's got a lot to do with mindset. So the one way is to look around you as to how people are behaving. Do employee surveys. And what I can share with you is, a model which talks about agile maturity in an organization. It goes a lot to do with how much people trust the team, how much people delegate in an organization. All of these things add to how mature one is. If there is no trust, I will not let you decide what needs to be done. All approvals should come to me. Even if someone in your team needs to take leave, I will approve it. For example, your organization is not agile. You are the chief technology officer. You're bringing in a new technology, but you don't have the rights to sign off on that new technology. Why? Because maybe I don't trust you. I don't know. So I can share that model with you as well to talk about, which will show you what different elements you need to look for to see where you are in your level of organizational maturity in terms of agility. So happy to share that as well. What is most important for preparing a digital transformation program? People. Most important, people. Prep your people. Tell them why it is important. Everyone's going to ask you one question. What's in it for me? Why do I need to change? How does it make a difference to my life? People. That's the most important. And this goes back to the point that Sachalani had called out, about technology transformation. And actually, Saswani and Danny, when just the three of us have been talking actually. I have not heard anyone else.
I also talk.
Oh yeah. Of course, Meiko.
The four of us quartet.
So yeah, it's so important. I was running a transformation in Canada where we had people across different provinces, suburbs, and downtown areas across different cities in Canada, and we were deploying a new technology for all the financial advisors. And these are people who are 50 years, 60 years, 70 years old, who do investment advice and all that, and they're very used to just doing things on pen and paper. They have this sorted out, and suddenly they're like, oh, you got to go digital. You have this app on the phone. You can do click, 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 and they're like, I don't want that. So the question that gets answered is, what's in it for me? You've got to be able to show people that this transformation is going to bring or add value. And believe me, not everyone is going to say, woo, you're not going to get that. People will say, I don't see value in it for me. People will resist to that. And you need to see how you can mitigate through that by having a conversation with people.
Is it better to have, is it better to use bottom up or top down for digital transformation?
So that's a good question as well, Sashwani. Now, I tried a top-down approach in some places. And many times when you're trying to impact culture, it's good to do top-down is what I think, because here is what happened. I thought, if I go to the top guy in the organization and I tell him that this is what we need to do, we need to be more agile, we need to be ready, so we are blah, 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 all of that. And everyone will follow because the leader says, you've got to be agile. A couple of mistakes I made over there. One, this would have been a big bang approach. Second, I was told to get out because the idea was stupid. He told me that I'm trying to change people who've not changed over the last 30 years, and this is not going to be successful. So he was like, this is a rubbish idea, get out. He didn't say literally get out, but that's what it was. So what I did was I tried a bottoms up approach. I started working with teams in small chunks to show them what they can do. This was a technology change that I was working on, and but I had to build mock-ups where I was able to get people to see value in this change. I got one team to love the product, which then spread good words around other teams as well. Then I got another team, and I used the same mind map which I shared, Sashwani, same approach. First teams, but this was bottoms up, not top down. And then suddenly I got my foot in the door and had the ability to talk to more teams and then bring them together and then show how this is adding value. And then I took it back to the leader and I said, hey, I just tried this out as an experiment. This seems to be working well. And now I want to try and do it for more. And I need you to support this. So what happened there is the leader saw that this was not just theory, it was more stuff that was tangible. People were experiencing it. They were able to do work faster. They got better outcomes and output out of this tool. And he's like, you know what? Let's do this. So, and this was not quick. This took me almost a year. Does that help, Sashwani?
So
Okay.
Jeff Sutherland said that we don't need executive approval. We need executive participation.
Yeah.
So I think the question is how we get them to be participate. Yeah, I think it start with example.
Yeah.
We have some result first, so they will participate.
Yeah, many a times when I've asked for executive participation, it gets misconstrued as executive approval. Like, yeah, I'm in this. So I love doing workshops where I can talk, I can get people to engage, than it just being, let me show you blah, 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 in a boring presentation. Now, a workshop is much better because then you're able to talk, you can show what you're feeling and your passion, and it's much better. So I like workshops because there you break it down to the nuts and bolts and then you build it from ground up. And I had one of the leaders join the workshop and he's like, I'm there. And I was like, yeah, but you need to be a part of this, not just watch. So
Yeah, I think if I may share a little bit my experience as well in the in a couple of industries in Jakarta, basically. So we are basically taking the combination of the top down and the bottom up, because
yes,
the sponsor is basically has to be from the top. And when they're talking, we know the CFO would be looking at the balance sheets. We
right,
know the CEO would be looking at the profit. We know that the operations would be talking about something else. So we normally have a coach basically meeting for those people so they could talk in one language. And then we go down. So the people at the bottom, they're not confused, because normally,
right,
oftentimes what happened in Indonesia, when the CEO is coming, he's talking about the whole thing. When the CFO cutting your costs, make sure you're making a lot of money. And then the operations guy, make sure you deliver what you should be delivered. So they are basically in one accord first. So regardless your position within the organization, when you talk to your boss, they would be talking about the same language. Basically, they would be singing the same song.
yeah,
So when we are doing the bottom up, people would not confuse. Basically, otherwise,
yeah,
they would be like, what am I doing? Is that because Ganesh is pushing me this, but my boss wants me to do this? So, something like that.
yes, yes, agreed, agreed. A good call out, Danny. Thanks. All right. Well, any other, how do we measure agility? What is most important? Okay, so any other comments, questions? We good? I hope you found value in coming together today. There was something that you loved about this webinar. Maybe my hair trimmer. I'm just joking. Well, okay. I'm thinking all of you are super ecstatic. Thank you. Lufti, appreciate the feedback. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. And guys, again, these are great conversations. There is no good or bad. There is only learning. That's my personal opinion. In digital transformation, it's like life. There's no rocket science to it. I think you just need to be nimble to change and be ready to stay relevant, adopt to the new things, new ways of working, new tech to stay relevant. That's what's most important. We end up, because of complexities of the organization or whatever, we end up complicating everything and it becomes so difficult to execute change. And it's tough. So that's my only, that's how I look at it. I'm just, it's like, yeah, car tire gone flat, fix the tire, let's go fix it, kind of thing. So yeah, Meiko, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Ganesh, and thank you, everyone. So before we end the webinar, I would like to gather some feedback from you. Let's go to the Menti again, menti.com, and then the code now is 4943 1301. I'm gonna check the code is 4943 1301. Oh, sorry. 4943 1301. Yeah. So I'm waiting for your input. You know, as Agilis, we always need feedback from you guys. Anyone would like to give some input, please? Yeah. So alignment, clear communication. Okay. So to the menti.com. Compassionate communication. That's good work.
I was like compassionate.com. Like
This is compassionate.com.
let's go somewhere else. You know, that's a really good call out. Agility is a behavior. It is it definitely is. So
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes I mean a lot of people say it that agility is mindset, and you know, we cannot measure mindset because mindset is something that
Intrinsic.
intangible.
Yeah.
So but mindset is actually uh, just like the iceberg, and the top of the mindset is actually shown in the behavior, and we can measure the behavior.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. So know your organization, agile approach, humble communication. 11 people now. So
Learning partner.
learning partner. Okay, let's wait for 30 seconds. Oh, sorry. Okay, let's move to the another question.
Man behind the gun.
Yeah. So, would you please give us score into the this webinar? I believe the on the number 3 is gonna be 10.
You know, you won't believe, guys. Just for analogies, I had brought up different things to
See,
talk about.
Ganesh.
And you know how I learned from everything that I observed. So unfortunately, we didn't have enough time this today, but maybe some other time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we gonna get the shaver after this?
That's a very you know that's going to be dangerous because
Okay.
then
The last question is, what is the next topic we want to discuss next time for our webinar, the Melior Synergy webinar? Employee experience.
Okay.
How to measure business agility.
Okay. Yeah.
Scaled agile. Agile in practice. Lean Six Sigma. Change management.
Wow.
Okay. Thanks for all the input.
Agile organization. In-depth agile practice. Okay. Generation gap.
Okay, last but not least, we have some event. Melior Synergy has some event in May and June. In May, we have another Management 3.0, which is Ganesh also mentioned that some of us already joined the Management 3.0, and I think Ganesh can recommend this also.
Yeah.
And we have also in June, we have Kanban system design, which is the KMP certification, KMP1 from Kanban University. We also have the IC Agile Business Agility Foundation in June. And we have Meiko training about agile stakeholder engagement, how you visualize ecosystem in stakeholders, so you can have a better decision, better planning to do the engagement. So that's all from us. So thank you, guys. Thank you, Ganesh. Thank you, everyone. Pak Dani, Pak Sahlani,
Thank you
who
very much.
a lot of giving input.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, I really appreciate the fact that, you all took the time out on a weekend to spend as a group today. It just shows your commitment towards, your curiosity and commitment towards business agility. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ganesh.
Thank you
So
indeed.
before
Thank you, Meiko.
we close, if you are okay, would you please open the camera so I can have Indonesian style the